Hello everyone, I'm Allison Gonzalez, a trainer with Pragmatic Works, and welcome to the second episode in my Teams series. So in this video, we are talking all about Teams and the channels inside of Teams. So what to think about when you're making them, the ideal structure, and of course, I will demo how to build them out inside of Teams. So let's take a look at a slide, go over a few things about Teams and channels, and then we're going to get right into that demo. All right, so here we are looking at this kind of slide showcasing Teams and channels. And in here, I just want to first talk about some best practices with making them. So we have our teams, which are our larger group, and then we have our channels, which are the more topic-specific groups inside of the team. So best practice when you are making teams and channels, you always want to have teams with a larger set of members and more channels inside of that. So fewer teams, more channels. Most likely you have, a set group of people and they have multiple things to do. So they can all be in the same team, but you're going to specify which channels inside of that team they have access to. So always better to have fewer teams with more channels inside of them rather than the reverse, where you have a lot of teams with only maybe 1 to 2 channels inside of each one. So channels inside of a team really should be thought of as topics or work streams. This can aid the team in organizing their work to be able to deliver on their joint objectives. There's really no set specific number of channels that you could or should have inside of a team. Each one is really up to the team to craft them based on their work, priorities, their style, and what they need to have. So once you've created your team, and I'm going to show you exactly how we can do that in a minute, it is a good idea to start thinking about the different projects as well as the types of conversations you need to support. So create those initial channels so people know where you can contribute and find existing conversations, and then use really descriptive names. No matter what program you're on, I'm always a big fan of having a good naming structure that makes it really easy and very clear for everyone on it where you should go for what conversations and what topics. You can also add in a lot of tools. And so inside of the channel, you can add tabs across the top for all of the different programs you're using. Teams is really trying to make it very inclusive, trying to get you to stay inside of Teams, having everything you want to be able to collaborate, which is the point of Teams, all in one space. So you can bring in things like OneNote, Power BI, Excel, Word, have all of those inside and kind of living in Teams, and you can do some of your work in there. Would I do all of my work in there? Probably not, but if I'm collaborating, just doing a quick check on something I'm working on with someone, yeah, it's a great place to make those quick edits, to talk about what you're doing and have it all in that same place. You can even add Webpages as tabs in a channel as well, videos, lots of different things. So remember, you want to keep those channels topic specific, since another big benefit is that you can schedule meetings right inside of that channel. So if you're limiting access and only the people that need to have access are in there, it's a really easy way to collaborate all just in one place. So you can click on that calendar icon to schedule a meeting right inside of the Teams. I'll show you that as well in our demo. Or you can use the camera icon to start a meeting right away. And so the great thing with Teams is that when you add new people or groups, they can get very quickly up to speed on what's already been discussed, because all of the conversations and the files have already been saved into Teams. So it's another thing to keep in mind, that if you're adding someone into a team or a channel, make sure that they're able to see all of that previous content, or rather allowed to have the permissions. It's kind of what they need to see for their job, because they're going to have access to everything that has already been discussed and shared prior to them joining that channel. All right. Let's head over into Teams. We're going to demo making out a team. We're going to add channels in, and we're going to add tabs into those channels, and I'll show you how to do all of those steps. So let's head over there now. All right, we are in Teams right now, and in this environment that I've set up just for these videos. And so we are going to go through adding in a team first. And so of course we have that navigation. We talked all about this in the first video of the series. If you haven't watched that, go ahead and go do that after this one. But we have our navigation on the left, and I am in the Teams section. And inside of teams, remember, teams are our large one, and then the items inside are our channels. So we are going to go down all the way to the bottom of the screen here, the bottom of this teams pop out right here, where we're able to join or create a team. Over here, I can just click right here. I can either join with a code, but let's go through the process of creating a team. So I'm going to click on the nice little purple Create Team button. And we've got some options. So I can either create this totally from scratch, or I can build it off of a Microsoft 365 group, or I can pick a template. These templates just come pre-populated with channels. So look for, it's always a good idea if you have an idea of what you're building right off the bat, see if there is a similar one in here. They'll save you some steps, save you from making some extra things. We're gonna start off from one of these as well. So we're just gonna go first off with this very first one, manage a project, so we can see everything that's inside. So once I select that, then it's gonna show me the channels that are going to be added right off the bat. And I can modify any of these if I want to, and here are all of the apps they thought would be appropriate and helpful to add on as well. And again, I can modify those if I don't like any of them, or if I want to add additional ones, I can do that as well. So you're not locked in to only the options inside of the template. You can modify it, just look at the template as a starting off point. So let's hit next. And now we need to decide, do we want this to be a private team where we are going to decide who can see this and have access to it, or is it public where it's just easy for anyone in the organization to join? Let's start it off with public. Here is where you're going to name your team. You can modify this later on if you don't like the name. Let's just call this one our YouTube team. So let's call it YouTube training. We can add in a description if we needed to, and over here is where we're able to customize any channel. So maybe I want to remove this emoji here. I can get rid of that from announcements. Every team has a general one. No matter what, there's going to be a general channel. You can't rename it. It will always be there. We can change announcements, resources, or planning though if I wanted to modify anything in there. And now let's hit create. All right, and here it is. It is now ready to go. So we can add in members right here. So add in any names of people or groups. We can also skip this. So if you want to get everything set up first before you add anyone into it, make sure everything's working and situated correctly. I personally always like to add people once I'm already done setting everything up. So you can go ahead and skip this. And here we are in our YouTube training team. We can see the channels that we added in. We have our general channel, then we also have these 3 hidden ones, and I can go right next to them to show any of the ones that I want to kind of show up regularly right under there. I can also hide any of them, so if I did want to hide any of these channels, again, you can't hide general, but I can go ahead and hide any of those other ones, and they just then live in this hidden channel space. So now inside of our channel, we can see right here up across the top in this navigation right here, we can see our posts, and this is where all of your conversations are going to show up inside of the channel. We can show files, so we can have any files that we have uploaded or that we want to add in. Right now we don't have anything because we just made it, so it's still kind of thinking a little bit, working its way there. We can add any files here. Once they're added in, they're easy to collaborate on and download. We also have some other tabs up here as well that they added in for us. We can add in OneNote right here, so I can click on Setup tab. And here it is, we can just work inside of OneNote to add that in. And you can see how this app will now look inside as a tab. So we're able to kind of use all of these regular OneNote features in here inside of Teams. Let's see the other ones that were added for us. So you can see we have limited space up here. So the rest of the ones, as you don't have them selected, are just going to go into a more area. So this will stretch on no matter how many others you have. We can also add more by clicking the little plus sign to add in other tabs. Here are some recent ones we already added in the OneNote. Could also collaborate with Word documents, Power BI files, PowerPoints, even just websites. We can add all of these in so that way we're going to have that content available. So the thing is, when we're adding in these tabs, you want to have those items already kind of in your files ready to go. You'll also notice that anytime you add in a tab, you're going to get a little post about that. You can turn that off if you don't want it, but I always find it handy to notify people, especially if you already have a lot up here. That way they can see, hey, something new has been added. You can add additional comments about that item down here as well. So let's add some files in for this project. So I'm going to pull over an Excel file and I could just drop that right in. We can see that starting to upload already. I'm going to pull over a Power BI file and let that one upload. I can also pull over a PowerPoint and even a Word doc. So lots of different file types that you are able to pull over, and then we can create additional tabs along the top of here that will feature these items. So if these are important, we can make sure that we are featuring them right up here in the top of our channel. So I could click the little plus sign to add in a tab. Let's do the Word doc first. Now I'm able to select the Word doc that I placed here and hit save. And now it's going to be added as a tab right here up at the top. So anytime I go through, I can just go over to click on the Word doc and I will have full access to that Word doc. I have all of these Word features right here, that navigation in Word, where I can change anything around in here that I want to, make modifications on it, and really collaborate and use this with other people that are in this channel with me. And again, I'm going to get a little notification in the post of the channel that shows that this was added in. It gives a direct link over there to make it easy. The next and last thing that I want to show you in the channels, we added in all of these kind of public channels inside of my team. I now want to add in a private channel. Now anyone that's a member of the team can add in a private channel. And it truly is a private channel. Even if you are not the team creator, if you're in the team and you create this channel and you create a private channel, only you and the people that you add to it will see the channel and will see the content in there. The team creator will be able to see that that team exists, and they can delete it if they would like to, but they cannot see the conversations or content that are in there. So to add a channel, right here, the ellipses button next to our nice YouTube training team, click on that 3-dot button, get our more options. I can add a channel here. Here's also where I would add all of my members. Decide to leave the team, edit the team if I want to change the name, get a link for it, and manage tags, and of course, delete the team altogether. Let's go ahead and add a channel. We're going to call this one Super Secret Team. Super Secret Channel. And then here is where you are going to decide if you want it to be standard, where everyone on the team has access, and private, where only specific teammates have access. So let's make this one private and hit create. And then it will add this in. I can add names here or kind of add some content in, add some tabs in before I add anyone. You can always add people at any point in time. I'm going to hit skip. And now we can see there's this little lock icon is next to our channel name. So this is indicating that this is a private channel. Another great thing with teams and the channels inside of them is that if I don't want to see any teams, I can hide them. Maybe I've been added to a couple teams that aren't really relevant to me. I may not need them. You can go over that more options. I can hide it, and then that whole team is going to go into a hidden teams section where I can open it up, see all of my hidden teams, but they're gonna get out of my way so it's less for me to scroll through. I'm also able to pin specific channels. So maybe I'm always in my super secret channel. I can go to that more options button, hit pin, that is going to appear up at the top of my teams section. So it's easy to navigate. I don't have to scroll through all of the teams with all of the channels to get there. It's going to be right at the top, easy to add on. So that is your quick tutorial into adding teams and then the channels inside of those teams. We get a lot more in-depth on this in the Teams class that we have on our on-demand learning platform. So if you want to learn more about Teams right away without waiting for any other videos, head on over to our on-demand learning platform to take that Teams class. I'm also in the process of recording an advanced version that will be up very soon as well. And you can use code Allison30 to get 30% off your membership. So thank you so much for joining me in this video. Please like and subscribe. And if you have any Teams questions, comment below. I might be able to include them in the next video in this Teams series. So don't forget, if you want to join our on-demand learning platform to get these classes before without having to wait for some videos to come out, you can use code Allison30 to get 30% off your membership. So happy learning, and I will see you in the next video.